If Anakin Skywalker had reached his full potential, he would have become the most powerful Force user in Star Wars history, stronger than Yoda, Palpatine, or even Luke. George Lucas himself said in the Revenge of the Sith DVD commentary and multiple interviews that Anakin was meant to be, quote, twice as powerful as the Emperor, but lost that chance when he was injured on Mustafar. Of course, some of this involves speculation as it's based on abilities we've seen other characters use. We are assuming Anakin were to learn and ultimately surpass these powers because a full potential Anakin Skywalker would stand as the most powerful being in the galaxy's history. At full strength, Anakin would have mastered telekinesis on a massive scale. In the Clone Wars series, which is canon, we already saw him throwing massive objects and force choking across holograms. Fully realized, he could likely manipulate starships with ease, something Legends-era characters like Starkiller in the Force Unleashed game was shown doing. Anakin could go far beyond that, possibly holding back orbital bombardments or even crushing capital ships with his mind. Precognition and battle awareness, already one of Anakin's strongest talents, would be godlike. In Attack of the Clones, Obi-Wan notes that Anakin is already able to anticipate attacks before they happen. At full potential, he'd probably see seconds or even minutes into the future, making him nearly impossible to defeat in combat. This ability is similar to the Force ability called Shatterpoint, which Mace Windu uses in the Shatterpoint novel, allowing users to see the weak spots in people, plans, or the environment. Anakin would likely have refined this intuitively. He would also master Force Healing and Regeneration, a rare Jedi ability. While Rey uses this in The Rise of Skywalker, it was also seen in the Old Republic MMO in Legends books like The New Jedi Order. At his peak, Anakin could probably regenerate lost limbs or even reverse aging, a theory tied to deep Force manipulation techniques like midichlorian manipulation, which Palpatine referenced in Revenge of the Sith when speaking of Darth Plagueis. A full potential Anakin could wield Force lightning, including advanced forms like Emerald Lightning, seen in Dark Empire comics and used by powerful Sith like Palpatine. Though Jedi don't usually use it, Anakin's complex emotional nature might allow him to learn it and use it in a non-lethal or balanced way, something theorized in the Jedi vs. Sith Essential Guide to the Force, or the way Plo Koon used it, which was called Electric Judgment. More exotic abilities include flow walking, a time-based ability that allows someone to mentally walk into the past or future, used by Jacen Solo in the Legacy of the Force Betrayal, which is Legends. Anakin, with his enormous Force potential, would likely reach this level of perception, maybe even affecting time itself to a limited degree, especially given to his connection to prophecy and destiny. Another rare ability is Force Projection, which Luke Skywalker uses in The Last Jedi. But while Luke's projection is just a ghostly image, Anakin could potentially project himself physically across the galaxy, affecting the environment, wielding the Force, or even battling enemies remotely. This is supported by more extreme Legends powers like Essence Transfer, where Sith move their consciousness. Anakin may not need these, but understanding them shows his ceiling. Then there's telepathy and memory control. Sith like Darth Bane used Memory Walk to force enemies to relive trauma, which is in the Darth Bane Rule of Two book, while Jedi like Quinlan Vos used psychometry to read an object's history, which is in Dark Disciple. Anakin could likely master both. Combined with his compassion and pain, he might develop a new ability to pacify enemies by confronting them with emotional truth, blending light and dark. Finally, Anakin's raw connection to the cosmic force, hinted at in the Mortis arc of the Clone Wars, could elevate him to a plane of existence like the Father, who balanced the light, the daughter, and dark, the Son. This would make him more than a Jedi or Sith, a living bridge of balance, possibly becoming a Force deity like the ones. Building on that, one final ability I believe full potential Anakin Skywalker would possess, though it's not really discussed in canon or Legends, is complete control over the world between worlds. We've seen Ahsoka access the realm in the Ahsoka series, and Ezra do the same in Star Wars Rebels, but neither character demonstrates full mastery over when or how they enter or exit it. Anakin at his full potential would likely surpass them in this regard, able to traverse the world between worlds at will. I understand that Anakin, as we see him now, appears to have control over the world between worlds, but the ability I'm referring to is something different. It's about him as a mortal, being able to access and command that realm at will. While the nature and limits of the world between worlds remain mysterious, Rebels shows us that it allows for manipulation of key events in time, such as Ezra saving Ahsoka from her apparent death. Given Anakin's deep emotional ties and his tendency toward attachment, I believe he would absolutely tap into this ability, not just to revisit pivotal moments, but to actively reshape the past, present, or future. In doing so, he could essentially bend the galaxy to his will, using the Force not just across space, but across time itself. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. May the Force be with you.